I am holding in my hands super powered lighting. This is the Ape Labs Marvel Spot, the Ape Labs Marvel Flood. We're going to talk about why, and we're going to do it all now. Are you ready? Let's go. Justin Schwartz here on behalf of Ape Labs, and yes, today we are talking about the Ape Labs Marvel Spot and the Ape Labs Marvel Flood. Before we go into all of that, make sure you're checking out Ape Labs at apelabs.com. If you have any questions, comments, anything, you can drop them down below. Always happy to answer your questions and comments. And of course, consider subscribing. We would love to see you back here again. So, back to the Ape Labs Marvel. All right, now, before we dive into features and specs, control options, mounting options, all of that, I want to just turn this thing on to show you how bright, and this is the Marvel Flood, by the way, how bright this thing really is. Now, I have studio lights on. I have, literally ambient light coming in. I've got light everywhere, and this thing is just lighting up the entire room by itself. It is pretty incredible. So anyway, that is the first thing you need to see is just, wow. This is an incredible amount of light coming out of a battery-powered wireless lighting effect. So features and specs, what you're looking at here is really the epitome of what a wash, par, uplight. This is a multi-purpose effect. So you got 9 18-watt LED diodes in here. Red, green, blue, plus lime, plus cool white, plus warm white. And that's in both the Marvel Flood and the Marvel Spot. 6, 7, 12, 36, 54 DMX channel modes. Very important to know if you're going to be utilizing these with DMX, and if you're going to be doing pixel mapping, that might be something you might want to do. They're outdoor rated. You have dual core fanless operation, so they are completely silent. Also flicker free for all of your video and production needs. This is the first Ape Labs light with a lithium ion battery. At 100%, it's almost too bright. And with power save mode, what that's going to do, it's going to dim the lights down a little bit to extend your battery life. So we have found that at 80%, these will last 8 hours. So 8 hours typically is going to be more than enough for most events or projects that you're going to use these for. So these will last 8 hours at 80% brightness. And I'm telling you, 80% brightness is still very incredible. But you can get up to 48 hours total on this with power save mode. So of course it'll go a little bit less bright at that point. But if you need more runtime, you can do it. And these have true one inputs and outputs. So if you do need to run them indefinitely or run them for a day or longer than what the time allows is going to be, you can also plug them in. Another cool thing to mention, these have auto signal repeaters in them. So what does that mean? That means that every time a light receives a wireless signal, it's also going to send it, and it will actually extend and strengthen that signal an additional 0.75 miles. So if you're in a really big space where I'm sure a lot of these are going to be used outdoors, things like that, you can space these apart as far as you need, and you don't have to worry about losing control via your Ape Labs Connect or CRMX app, whatever it is that you're using, because these do have extenders and repeaters in them. Another cool thing to understand, because these are not cheap lights, these have motion sensors and automatic theft protection built in with an audible alarm, which is kind of cool. So you won't have to worry about anyone walking away with your very expensive investment. All right, so let's talk about some of the differences really quickly between the Flood and the Spot. It's pretty simple, actually. The Marvel Spot is a 15-degree beam angle. It is going to take the LED diodes and push them extremely far. And if you need reach, if you need throw, if you need to spot something, whatever that might be, the Spot is going to be the light that you want to use. It'll give you less width, but it'll give you far longer throw and coverage in that respect. So Marvel Spot, 15-degree beam angle, and it's going to be used in situations where you really want that type of width, and you need it to extend as far as possible. The Marvel Flood, this is a 150-degree beam angle, which in my experience so far in the testing that I have done is really incredible. As you saw when I just turned it on, it spreads it out very evenly. It spreads it out very powerfully. The big thing though is that you're not going to get as much distance, you're not going to get as much throw forward, but you will get much more going left to right and width. So Marvel Flood is going to be, if you need to really cover walls, if you really need to cover maybe a building or something like that, this is going to be the light you're going to want to use. All right, so we're going to talk mounting options now. First thing I want to show you is the yoke or the hanging brackets on this. 180-degree rotation on this. So step one, if you want to hang them from a truss, you also have an opening here to put a clamp there. And now you can basically angle this and mount it and move it in really any direction that you want. A lot of other people, I think, will use them as an uplight or as a wash light. In that regard, you have now legs that open up here to make it a lot easier to drop down on the ground and then also angle it any direction that you want. So it's facing and you're kind of pointing and shooting. So that is another way to do it. And as I showed you before, you have your little opening here, and a lot of people are going to put these on vertical mounts. So microphone stands, they do not work with the Ape Labs universal stand, just so you're aware of that. They're a bit too heavy to be mounted on this, but this type of stand that's going to have a heavier base and be a bit more sturdy for heavier items would work just fine. I'm already seeing a lot of people place them on top of microphone stands and gravity stands, things like that. They look really cool. These can be used for dance floor washes as well as all other types of wash lighting design projects that you might have. So really very versatile in that regard, and you'll want to mount them up like this in that application. All right, let's talk about control. So just like all the other Ape Labs products out there, you have remote control option. I don't recommend the Ape Labs remote for the Marvel or really any of the Pixel Map products, and we'll talk about why later. But Ape Labs Connect app, this is the way I would definitely control it. If you're not going to do or use DMX, I would definitely be using the Ape Labs Connect app. You'll get far more control and a much easier way to control the pixel movement with the app. Lastly, a new addition to the Ape Labs family, and now available on both Neon Pix and the Marvel Wash and Spot, is CRMX. That's a wireless DMX protocol that's used by really the highest of end production companies and theatrical performances. Pretty much when you can't use cable, but you need it to perform and work like a cable, you use CRMX. It is very reliable and it is definitely trusted throughout the world. So yes, they are CRMX ready. All right, so this is the Marvel tour box. I wanted to show you this. It's a really nice case here. We'll flip it around really quickly. You can see it's like the other tour boxes from Ape Labs. It has a pull handle and it has integrated wheels here at the bottom, right? Also gonna see here, this is your True One input and output here. So you can actually power link, and this is how you actually charge the lights inside the case. But you can also link other cases as well. So now we'll open this up really quickly so you can see it. Nice foam inside. Now these are interesting in the way that they connect. So you have, as I showed you, your True One powered Edison on the outside of the case. And then what you do is you have this first cable here that starts to connect to the lights inside. And then basically you power link them from one to the next. And then you plug them all in, and lights easily drop into the case like so. And that's pretty much it. You drop it down and, after you're done charging it, and you're ready to go. But this is the Ape Labs Marvel Tour Box. All right, so we're gonna put together a demo for you really quick, and we'll see these with a little music and with the Connect app control. We hope you enjoyed watching this video as much as I enjoyed making it for you. If you need more information on this, you can check it out at apelabs.com. If you have any questions for me or anyone else here at Ape Labs, you can drop your comments down below or your questions down below. We'd love to answer them. And of course, consider subscribing. We would love to see you back here again. Thank you so much for watching this video, everyone. And as I always like to say, Auf Wiedersehen. Bye-bye.